Welcome in world of technology. Sony KD 65XF9005 review. What is the Sony KD 65XF9005? The 65-inch Sony KD 65XF9005 is essentially a new mid-range 4K HDR TV with high-end aspirations. Crucially, it continues the unusual, for a mid-range TV, direct backlighting approach that made last year's XE9005 range so critically and commercially successful. It also, though, delivers significant new picture improvements despite costing essentially the same as its predecessor. The result is a TV that rival mid-range 2018 wannabes will seriously struggle to beat. Sony KD 65XF9005 design and build. The 65XF9005 is something of an oddball aesthetically. Its dark gray, gently textured screen frame is attractive enough, and robustly built. But it's mounted on elongated silvery feet that jut out at such a severe angle that they're almost comically distracting. The positioning of these feet also means you'll need a fairly long piece of furniture to rest the TV on. Unless you wall hang it, of course. While the Sony 65XF9005's feet might look clumsy, they do at least harbor a thoughtful secret: they feature channels into which you can tuck all your cabling. Sony KD 65XF9005 setup. Sony tends to ship its TVs with more helpful presets than most TV brands. It's therefore no great surprise to find the 65XF9005 delivering excellent pictures right out of the box. That said, there are a couple of setup features worth at least having a play with. Sony KD 65XF9005 features. The 65XF9005 uses direct backlighting, where the LEDs sit directly behind the screen. Separate zones of these lights can output different light levels simultaneously, for enhanced contrast. This immediately gives the set a significant advantage over almost all mid-range rivals, which tend to use less precise edge-led lighting. The XE9005 range took the same direct lighting approach, but Sony claims that the XF9005 models have more individually controllable dimming zones. This should lead to reduced backlight clouding around bright objects. The 65XF9005 is also brighter than its 2017 predecessor. I measured peak brightness from a 10% white HDR window at around 1000 nits, 200 nits more than the XE9005 series. This is a big enough difference to potentially transform HDR playback. Sony KD 65XF9005 performance. In most ways, the 65XF9005 delivers a substantial step up in picture quality over its already strong predecessor. For starters, the set's extra 200 nits of brightness helps it deliver HDR with far more dynamism and impact. Bright highlights of HDR images, reflections on metal, direct sunlight, gleaming eyes, car headlights, and so on have much more of that standout punch we've come to expect from the HDR format. The 65XF9005's extra native brightness means there's more detail in the brightest HDR areas too. As Peter arrives in a dazzlingly bright Neverland in Pan, for instance, you can clearly distinguish the glowing ball of a sun next to a floating island, rather than just the general washed-out glow that less impressive HDR TVs show. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe this channel. See you next time on the other R videos.